As usual, when a summoning pool for prisms comes out, I like to talk about them a little bit because I find that not a lot of people do. And for those of you guys who may decide that you want to spend or you manage to grind out the free summon from the event tab, maybe you want to pull on a specific prism event. And holy cow, is this one good. This is probably one of the best prism pools in the game that I have seen. If I were spending, this would be a good one. So I want to go over this one very quickly. Before I get into it, make sure to like and subscribe, all of that stuff. And I just have to say that supporters in this game are so much better than DPS. It is actually insane. Purely because when it comes to DPS, I mean, there's a lot of really good ones, right? You know, there are a lot of great arena nukers. There are a lot of great PvE nukers. There are a lot that are better than others. Obviously, that's how the game works. But when it comes to supporters, if you have a good supporter, you can kind of use almost any type of DPS and it works, which makes this summoning pool so much more valuable than before. Now, I want to go over it a little bit and just kind of talk about it. Is it worth your money? Is it worth your Prism Shards if you get them for free? If you want to get some of my favorite champions in Raid for free, click my link in the description right now to get a free Karato Fox Hunter, as well as 3 amazing epic champions as you level up. Now here's what to do to get them. Number 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall the game. Next, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Next, you're going to launch the game and complete the tutorial. Afterwards, you should just be able to go to your inbox and claim your first legendary champion. Next, for the epics, you're going to get them as you level up. Now, this is a chance to get a free Karato Fox Hunter as a starter champion, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Vergis as you progress through the game. These are some very, very strong heroes, and you can get it all by clicking my link right now. So first of all, a couple highlights. Duchess is one of my favorite heroes in the entire game. When I made my original account like 3 years ago or something, she was my first Lego. She is one of the best support units in the game still, and she's been out almost since release. With all of the power creep in the game, she is still absurdly good. First of all, she's very tanky, and her abilities are insane. So Speed Aura, first of all, in all battles, probably one of the best auras in the game, just for broad content, especially if you're early on, you're gonna need a speed aura. A1 attacks an enemy twice, then places a shield buff equal to 10% of this champion's max HP. When it comes to champion skills, getting max HP of this champion, the champion that places the buff, is always better than having it say place based off of that champion's max HP. So this is really good. It places it for 2 turns on this champion and the ally with the lowest HP, which is really, really solid. The A2 then comes in with a 4-turn cooldown, which is a little bit of a long time, but it places a block debuffs, an increased attack, and a perfect veil on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Block debuffs and increased attack are some of the best buffs in the entire game, and it doesn't stop there. A3 4-turn cooldown revives all dead allies with 70% HP, so almost full HP, places a veil buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn, places a continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns, which is great. So she heals them, revives them, heals with the continuous heal, gets them up almost full health, and it makes it so they can't be damaged. Her Perfect Veil is a little bit better. Perfect Veil right here. The difference is pretty small. It just means that depending on the one that you have on, they take less damage. So not only does it make it so she is the only one targeted, not only does she heal, not only does she increase attack and put out block debuff, she is also going to make them take less damage, which is insane from AoE abilities. And it doesn't stop there because her passive decreases the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 25%. So AoE, the most powerful form of damage generally that you're going to see, is reduced, and even against bosses is 15% less. Duchess is so good. And it doesn't stop there because we also have Theodore on this banner. Theodore is one of the best poison units in the game. A1 attack all enemies, chance to put decreased speed. Decreased speed, one of the best debuffs in the game. Speed is the most important stat. Turn meter is the most important effect just because of how the game works. If you can go twice in a turn before they can go once, you're going to get double the benefit, obviously. And you can cycle back to your abilities, etc., etc. Great A1. Probably going to get a decreased speed, on one enemy guaranteed. Now the A2 is 3-turn cooldown, has a 100% chance of placing 2 poison debuffs, poison sensitivity on all enemies for 2 turns, also places increased speed on all allies. So not only is he helping you move faster, he's also putting poison synergy stuff on there. And the A3 increases the duration of all poison debuffs and HP burn, then instantly activates poison and HP burn, then places weaken for enemies not under them. So not only is he putting it out, he's making the poison do more damage, he's also able to detonate them and increase the duration, which is insane. This guy is crazy. And then we get to the A3 Fumigator. The champion's resistance is increased by 5 for each poison debuff on the enemy. So 4 enemies, let's say you got 2 on them from this, you're going to be getting about 40 extra resistance. It's not a crazy amount, but it does definitely add up, and increase accuracy in all battles by 50. Kind of mediocre aura, honestly, in my opinion, but Theodore is also that guy. So that's 2 top tier units in this game. And now we get to the third top tier unit. Nekmothar, also a support. Obviously, this is a support summoning pool. A1, AoE, chance of placing a decreased attack, increases when they're under debuffs. Generally, they will be, because debuffs are very important in this game. So you can reasonably assume that it will most likely be a 75% chance to put this out. On an A1, an AoE with almost 100% to put decreased attack on, that's crazy. You move to the A2, attacks all enemies, has a chance of placing decreased speed, like I said, very important, and a leech debuff on a 3-turn cooldown. Leech is great. When your allies deal damage, they're gonna heal part of the damage they dealt. Leech is a great debuff. A3 places increased speed on all allies for 2 turns, fills their turn meter, and gives this champion an extra turn. Increased speed, very important, like I said. Turn meter, very important, like I said. This is 30%, gives him an extra turn. He's able to cycle back to his A2 even faster, cycle back to his A3 in 3 turns, functionally. Insane. And not only that, it fills his champion's turn meter by 5% each time a debuff on an enemy is removed, transferred, or expires. He's just getting back like crazy. Nekmo is so good, and he has the speed in all battles. That is already 3 of the best units in the game. And we get to the recent fusion. If you missed him, he is very good. Lord Tainer Fabian. He's an insane wave clearer. A1, attack twice. Each hit steals 10% of the target's turn meter. Guaranteed. Places True Fear debuff if the target's turn meter is fully depleted. A2, attacks an enemy. Places Petrification, which stops them from taking as much damage. They can still be debuffed. It's a good debuff. Has a chance of placing True Fear on all other enemies who are not under a Fear or True Fear debuff. And the passive effect activates the skill whenever an enemy under a Fear or True Fear debuff successfully uses the skill. If there are multiple champions on the team with this, only one will activate. This is great, right? He's going to be able to attack them, petrify them, place extra turn fear, extra true fear. This is a crazy ability on a 3-turn cooldown that he's gonna cycle to just passively. It's crazy. A3 attacks all enemies. Before attacking, has a chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 3 freaking turns, and has a chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns. It's 100%. That's crazy. They can't do any abilities because of this. It's a full lockout, and has a chance of getting rid of the block buffs, of getting rid of the abilities that allow your enemies to take less damage, like increased defense and strengthen. It's just probably gonna get rid of them, which is crazy. And then he also grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after the attack. Now this won't always take into effect, but it generally will, because most of the time buffs are not going to be lasting longer than 3 turns. So functionally, this is a 3-turn cooldown. He's locking out, and he's just getting back to it. They are locked out for 3 turns. He's just locking them out. It's crazy. And then the passive, whenever an enemy is revived, place True Fear on this enemy. And if there are multiple champions on the team with the skill, it'll only affect once, obviously. And it removes basically all of the hard stun abilities at the start of his turn. Also ally Speed Aura. This is a 4th top tier unit. Then we get to Pythion. Pythion is a 5th top tier unit. A1 heals the ally with the lowest HP, double hitter. Amazing. A2 removes all debuffs, full cleanse, heals them by 10% of their max HP. Like I said, theirs is a bit worse than his, but heals each ally by an extra 5% of their max HP for each debuff removed from them. Also places block debuffs for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That is amazing. And if you book it, the heal gets bigger, which is great. A3 revives all dead allies, 4-turn cooldown, with 50% HP, 50% turn meter. Put Strengthen on. Strengthen is a pretty rare debuff, I would say. Really good ability there. And then the passive, allies receive 5% less damage from skills for each buff on them, stacks up to 25%. If you get a ton of buffs, which you generally want to do because of the way this game works, buffs and debuffs are very important, then you're gonna take less damage. Pythion is amazing. Pythion is a great pickup. And now with those 5 out of the way, we get to some solid units that are also good that I just don't know that much about. So I'm gonna read them with you guys here and we can come to our own conclusion. First of all, Dune Herald Zarasis. I've never seen this guy in my life. Let's see, how good is he? First of all, Aura, ally speed in all battles, 20%, that's a bonus. A1 has a 100% when booked, chance of stealing 15% of the target's turn meter. Pretty good there. Also has a chance of 100% when booked, of applying a debuff spread, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. This is a great A1. A1s are usually not very good, or at least not that integral, but this is pretty damn solid. We move to the A2. 3-turn cooldown, attacks an enemy before attacking, has a 100% chance of stealing all buffs. That's great. Then applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this champion and placing them on all allies. It's a little conditional for me because it depends on who you're hitting with this, but the fact that he not only steals, he spreads, so you can get buffs that aren't even on your team, is pretty cool. Places block buffs debuff, block active skills debuff on the target for 2 turns. It is only 1 target, but it's an okay ability. A3 places intercept stack on a target ally. For those of you guys who don't know, intercept is something that's incredibly complicated, but basically it blocks a crowd control and every single stack blocks 1 attempt, and after the debuff is blocked, it'll get rid of the stack obviously, and it's pretty good. Then he's going to also place block debuffs buff and increase speed buff on all allies. So this is a very solid ability, and you get to the passive at the start of the round, places increase accuracy buff on all allies. Whenever a debuff on an enemy is removed, expired, or has its duration decreased, fills this champion's turn meter. So not only is he going to steal it and then spread it to his team, he's also going to lower their turn meter. He's pretty good. He's not top tier by any means, but he is a worthwhile pickup in my opinion. And we get to Grand Oat Hadrag. I think I said that right. I do not know. Ally speed in dungeons 25%, decent aura. A1 attack an enemy, a chance of decreasing the cooldown of random allies' active skill. Pretty solid there. Then we get to teams up with all allies. Ally attack is one of my favorite types of abilities in this game. It is 4-turn cooldown, but he basically makes all of your allies attack the same guy. They use their A1, and then it fully restores all allies destroyed max HP and places continuous heal. It's a pretty solid ability. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. A3 fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%, 3-turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from all allies, and places increased speed. So not only is this a really good turn meter, increased speed, it also is a full team plan. And it's a 3-turn cooldown, insane ability. We move over to the passive. At the start of the champion's turn, places a buff on each ally for 1 turn, depending on their type. If they're attack-based, defense, or support, or HP, they will get something different, whether it's a shield, accuracy, defense, attack buff. Insane passive, because it works on everyone. So you're getting 100% uptime on these, which is crazy. Now, he is also a very worthy pickup. So that's 6 top tiers and 1 really solid unit, right? And then we get to Glaciad of the Meltwater. A1 attack twice, has a chance of placing freeze. If they are below half HP, they cannot resist this. Now this is a double hitter, and each hit has a 50%. Insane. A2 places an increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, 4-turn cooldown, but it also has a chance of placing 100% when booked, placing a perfect veiled buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Perfect Veil, like I established, allows you to take 15% less damage, and it stops them from being targeted. So this is literally just Duchess's ability, but it fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. That's really good. Now the A3 is also a revive, 4-turn cooldown, revives all dead allies with 40% HP, 25% turn meter. Not the craziest revive, but it also places increased accuracy, increased defense on all of them for 3 turns. These buffs will be placed even if no allies were revived, and if he doesn't revive anyone, he gets an extra turn, functionally making this a 3-turn cooldown, cycling back very, very fast. And it's essentially just a dual purpose ability, which is really cool. This guy is really good. Passive allies under a perfect veiled buff placed by this champion deal more damage, big W, and allies under a perfect veiled buff placed by this champion deal extra damage to enemies under veil or perfect veil, functionally negating their effects. He also has ally speed in all battles. Every single champion here is a worthwhile pickup. I do think the 5 that I mentioned at the beginning are the best, but these 2 on the left, really good. This guy, better than I thought he'd be. I'd be honest. And that's not just where we stop. The epics are quite good. So now, just to do a rapid fire, because this video's gone on long enough, Doom Priest, great, has a heal all allies every time they go, and removes a random debuff. They do increase attack too, but that is the main thing. We also have Aox. I love Aox. He poisons on the A1. His passive is really good and increases the duration of 2 random debuffs whenever he's attacked. So against clan boss, if the clan boss will hit like 4 times in a row, he's going to extend the duration of 8 different debuffs. It's pretty good. Decreased accuracy, crit rate, and a heal. I like him a lot. He's not the best, but I like him. Mausoleum Mage, decreased speed, increased crit rate, defense, and block debuffs on all allies. And it's a cleanse that does extra stuff depending on how much he cleanses. Lady Annabelle's not bad. Heal. We got the leech, the decreased speed. We got the revive on death and the speed. Heals his champion whenever an ally or enemy dies. She's not bad. Deacon is amazing early game. He's a great turn meter controller. Fills the turn meter of all allies and decreases of enemies. Grants an extra turn. This is functionally a 2-turn cooldown, which is insane for an ability like this because he grants an extra turn as a 3-turn cooldown. Deacon is insane. Heavily recommend you pick him up. Stag Knight has been out since release and has been one of the best epics since. A1 decreased speed, A2 decreased defense and attack, AoE 100% chance. It's crazy. Well, no, 95% chance, but it's basically 100%, and increased accuracy put on healers. Jorg is a great faction unit. If you don't have an HP burner, you're gonna want to pick up Mordecai for the A3. Pretty good ability there. Gorgorab's a great reviver and turn meter increase for Arena. You got Sinesha, who does solid damage and equalizes the HP on your team. There's a lot of things to like here. I mean, even Yulfrig, who I don't really like that much, fills turn meter and puts increased attack. That's a crazy ability. This is, in my opinion, the single best summoning pool that has been added since I started making content, which is about, a month, maybe a month and a week ago. This is the one that I would pull on if I were you guys. Now, at the end of the day, the main things to remember: never spend outside of your means and take it slow. I don't want you guys to have to get financially crippled because you listened to Destin saying that this is an amazing prison summon pool. But this, if you do not have any of these Legos, you realistically, if you're a spender, should go for it. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Destin signing out.